Despite the recent revelations of the purchase of a government employee who makes $250,000 a year, the Trammell Crowe family is remembered fondly by his son and Clarence Thomas sponsor, Harlan Crowe, in this retrospective.
My dad came from a very humble background, born in East Dallas in a family of 8 kids, and father that had work sometimes, didn't have work much of the time. Even though he wanted to become well-educated, he couldn't afford to. And because his family was very religious in a conventional Christian environment, the church offered to pay for him to be educated under the condition that he become a minister, which would have been a completely different life. I think Dad did feel because he couldn't afford the level of education that a lot of his friends and his wife did, he overcompensated by lifelong study. I would idealize my parents' relationship. I would say it was damn close to perfect. The kind of couple that when they were apart, which they often were, they would miss each other a lot. Write notes and leave notes on pillows and lots of holding hands. You need a balance between hope and realism. It's got to be a synthesis of all that, and I think they were. Part of the whole goal was to succeed as a group of people working together. The idea of if you earn $1, you share that dollar. I mean, it doesn't belong to me, it belongs to us. What he would have cared about much more than any building would have been the company that he built and the people in the company and the lives that were influenced by the activities of the company. That would have mattered to him 1,000,000 times more than any building.
I mean, he got the sharing the dollar part down correct.
He almost sounds like a socialist.
My daddy told me to make friends with Supreme Court justices, even boring ones. And don't hesitate to fund their nieces or their grandnieces' high school education at private schools.
Right.
I mean, the way he described his father, his father just as someone who was struggling financially in a large family would probably look at the type of person his son became as someone who's basically purchasing a top tier federal justice, on top of which collecting, Nazi and Hitler memorabilia, as someone who is kind of a dick.
Yeah. I think that it's the Hitler Nazi stuff. Because, part of me thinks he is not doing a great thing, but the person who's in the wrong is Clarence Thomas, not Harlan Crowe. He's a horrible person for, loving the Nazis and Hitler and all that, or seemingly loving. I don't know why else you would collect that memorabilia, but the person in the wrong is Clarence Thomas. You know what I mean? So
maybe he's collecting it ironically.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
I still come back to, like we were talking about the other week, it reminds me of Aladdin. You've never had a friend like me. This guy's got a lot of money and he likes to spend it on people that can give him favors. Wow. Who wouldn't want a friend like him?
You just need to find someone like him who's willing to buy not judges, but left-leaning podcasts. That way I can afford to pay people, starting with myself.
Would you take dirty money? Do you take dirty money? Is all money clean? Even dirty money?
As many comedy clubs as I've worked with over the years, that money is dirty, literally, figuratively, metaphorically, even Venmo. I still look at some of it and go,
yeah. Ick.